Hello everyone, I'm Blue Cars and welcome back to a rather exciting video. And it is exciting because this, my Saab 95 Aero, is back on the channel. It's been requested by loads of you and it's finally here. So yeah, let's jump in and find out what this big old beast has been up to. Right, so sorry to disappoint those of you who are after a bit of a bombshell with this video, but as you can probably tell by the fact it's still here, this Saab has been behaving just as you want a car to, really. But I will get into that slightly later on. To start with, I do just want to quickly give a bit of an overview of my history with this car, because I'm aware that some of the people watching this might not have a clue what I'm on about when I say my Saab 95 Aero. So basically, about 18 months ago now, my Clio was sadly written off and I was in need of another car. I didn't have a massive budget, and looking through the classifieds, obviously I didn't really want something like a Ford Fiesta, and this stood out to me. It was £897, and I mean, just look at it, what a magnificent car. So much performance, so much space, and so much luxury, all for such a small bargain price. So yeah, I just had to have it. Like I say, compared to a Ford Fiesta, what a machine. So £897, that's what I paid for it, but there was a bit of a caveat to that price, and that was the fact that this car has 240,000 miles on it, or rather it did when I bought it, which is quite a lot. In fact, I think it's enough to get this car to the moon and then some of the way back. So why did I buy a car with that many miles on it? Well, it's a Saab, so it's well built. I like Saab, I've had a 9.3 Aero in the past, but also this car had a full Saab or independent Saab specialist service history, and the person I bought it off obviously looked after it. It was on a nice gravel drive, etc, etc. So yeah, that kind of brings you up to speed with my history with this car. I love it. I did make lots of memories in it after sort of buying it. I did 4-baller in it, which is on this channel, and then I just used it as a car basically up until around 4 or 5 months ago when the Toyota Yaris appeared. Again, there's a video on my channel somewhere which I will link in one of these corners. But yeah, that brings you up to speed with my magnificent Saab 95 Aero. I mean, just look at the shape of this car. How could I have not bought this over, say, a Ford Fiesta? It's just such a magnificent looking car. I know it's a big claim to make, but like I said in my original video featuring this car, I think it's one of the best looking estate cars ever made. I know RS6s and things do exist, but yeah, there's just something very elegant about a Saab 95 Aero estate, I think. Obviously with 250 brake horsepower, I just had to have it. So, up to date then, well, I've got you up to date now. So what has this car done since it last featured on the channel, which was about 9 months ago because I've just checked. Well, as it sits here now, this car is on 253,000 miles, and as I've hinted at the start of the video, nothing's really gone wrong. It's just existed. It's just been a good old workhorse. And that, to be fair, is a good thing, because obviously with such a cheap car, you don't want to be throwing money at it to keep it on the road. So it had its MOT in July, and it didn't cost a fortune, but unfortunately they did say that in order to pass the next MOT, it is likely to need some welding done. I think the subframe's suffering, and I think it's under here, so behind this arch, and that is where these cars are prone to rust, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll get onto that shortly. I did just want to quickly mention that when me and my dad bought this car, I tend to do most things with my dad when it's to do with cars, we kind of agreed that if we got it to the MOT it's just had, so July this year, that meant we'd have had a good deal out of it, and the car has obviously outlasted that. So yeah, I'm surprised it exists, to be honest with you, but yeah, that is where we sit with this car currently. Now this video is unscripted, so if it's coming across a little bit clunky, that'll be why. But you are all up to date now with the Saab 95 Aero, so what do I think is going to happen to it in the future? Obviously I can't predict the future because, well, you just can't. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be all that positive for this car after its next MOT, or when the next MOT comes around. And that's because, like I say, the rust under here I think is getting a little bit too much to deal with, and throwing money at it is probably not worth doing. That is a shame, because me and my dad over the time I've owned this car have become incredibly fond of this car. It's just effortless in the way it performs, it's so comfortable, it's so practical, it just looks brilliant, and considering the miles on it, it hasn't cost as much money to run. It's quite hard to explain, but it's sort of a Saab thing. If you've owned a Saab, you'll know what I mean. These cars have just got so much character and they're absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so it's a bit of a shame because, like I say, that rust is going to be the killer, and this car is a complete waste of time to spend a load of money on it, because again, if you know Saabs, these cars are just worth absolutely nothing, which is a shame because I think they're an absolute bargain. They are brilliant cars, obviously ignoring the rust issue that this one's got, or that these ones get. Yeah, so it's a bit of a grim note to end on, really, and it feels like a bit of a shame. I'd like to do something to send this car off eventually, like a Viking burial or something at sea. And again, I would quite like to be able to sort of restore it if I could, but obviously I don't have the funds for that, and at the end of the day, it's throwing money. It's a very old car with a lot of miles on it, so that probably isn't all that realistic. But yeah, I thought it was time to update you guys. I'll probably do another one in about 6 months' time, just so that we've sort of got a bit more of a diary of what this car's been up to. But for the time being, to summarise this video, the car's now on 253,000 miles. It hasn't really gone wrong, it's just existed as a practical workhorse that we absolutely adore. But unfortunately, I think the next MOT is probably going to be what kills it. Yeah, bit of a sad note to end on, but unfortunately that is the reality. I've been Bleak, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.